The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us at 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
We begin this morning with big breaking news. America has a new billionaire.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that person lives right here in Kern County. After months with no jackpot winner, someone finally matched all 6 numbers of the Powerball lottery.
Yeah, 17's Aaliyah Fitzgerald is live outside where that winning ticket was sold in Frazier Park. And again, she's got more on the excitement that is happening in our mountain communities. Good morning, Aaliyah.
Good morning, you guys. It is crazy news. So I'm right out here. I'm right outside of Midway Market and Liquor, where the ticket for $1.76 billion, that's billion with a B, was sold right at this store. Now, after taxes, that ends up being $774 million with an M, but that's still an even trade-off. I mean, this is huge news. This is a town with only 3,000 people. Now, this is not only good news for the person who wins the ticket, but the store right behind me, because the store owner actually gets $1 million of that winning ticket price. Now, could this be you? It's the second highest jackpot in U.S. history. And the numbers are 22, 24, 40, 52, 64, and with the Powerball 10. In Frazier Park, Aaliyah Fitzgerald, 17 News, back to you.
All right, Aaliyah, thanks so much. 5:05 is your time now, and we turn to your 17 Court Watch. And a man accused of leading police on a chase and intentionally ramming into a park sheriff's patrol car has pleaded not guilty. Enrique Carrillo appeared in court yesterday. He is facing several charges, including assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer. McFarland police say they were pursuing Carrillo's car into the Bakersfield area overnight on Sunday. When Carrillo approached the intersection of Merle Haggard Drive and Airport Drive, KCSO says he intentionally rammed his car into a parked sheriff's patrol car. The deputy sustained minor injuries. Carrillo is being held on $525,000 bail.
Meantime, we're learning a second person has died after another crash involving a Kern County Sheriff's deputy over the weekend. This happened on Highway 178 near Kelso Valley Road on Saturday. CHP says a car drifted over the double yellow lines on a curve in the road, crashing into 2 motorcycles. That car then spun out of control, hitting the passenger side of the deputy's patrol car. The deputy was not hurt, but the driver of the car, identified as Jack Brown, died at the scene. A 64-year-old motorcyclist also died in the crash, but that person's name has not been released.
A warning this morning from PG&E. They say scammers are ramping up their efforts to defraud customers, with more than 600 attempts in Bakersfield alone this year. The utility says the typical scam is a caller claiming to be from PG&E and threatening disconnection immediately. They are demanding payment with a prepaid debit card or digital payments. PG&E says customers have been scammed out of nearly $580,000 this year alone. It is important to know scammers are now able to create authentic-looking 800 numbers, which show on your phone display. The utility says if you ever have doubts, hang up and either log into your account or call them back.
Well, before you hit the road this morning, we have a traffic alert for you. Traffic will be disrupted along parts of Olive Drive this week. That's according to the city of Bakersfield. Check out the map of where this is all happening. Olive Drive will be closed to traffic between Renfro Road and Santa Fe Way today and Friday for a paving project. The road's going to be blocked from 4 a.m. to 6 p.m. both days. Making news around the world, the fighting between Israel and Hamas continues as the death toll rises in the Middle East. The Israeli government is under intense public pressure to topple Hamas as the war reaches its 6th day. Right now, Palestinians are rushing to grocery stores to buy food as they prepare for a possible ground invasion by Israel later today. At least 2,600 people have died on both sides in this war.
And Israeli forces are sending airstrikes onto the Gaza Strip. Gaza is being hammered by continuous airstrikes since Hamas militants attacked Israel on Saturday. This new video shows the extent of the damage those strikes have already inflicted on Gaza. and areas around a mosque. Several buildings have been flattened while smoke rises in the background.
Meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and opposition party leader Benny Gantz agreed to form a small war cabinet as part of an emergency unity government. Netanyahu's defense minister vowed to wipe the Palestinian militant group Hamas off the face of the earth. There are growing expectations that Israel's next move will be to launch that ground invasion to destroy Hamas.
And as fighting heats up over the Middle East, the political tug of war over Speaker of the House could be coming to an end. GOP House members elected House Majority Leader Steve Scalise as the next Speaker of the House on a simple majority vote. But it is unclear if Scalise can secure enough support in a full House floor vote. All of this comes as the U.S. sends support to Israel amid its fight with Hamas militants. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington this morning with more.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken arriving in Israel today, talking to the press before he left the state.
The United States has Israel's back.
Blinken's visit comes as Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu ramps up the pressure against Hamas militants. The death toll since Hamas terrorists launched a surprise attack over the weekend continues to rise.
This attack was a campaign of pure cruelty. Not just hate, but pure cruelty against the Jewish people.
President Biden says his administration is working on the release of hostages, some of them Americans. The intense fighting overseas is also putting pressure on Capitol Hill, which remains without an elected House Speaker. Republicans nominated Steve Scalise, but it's unclear if he has enough votes to secure the job.
I think it's important we come together, and I've offered to nominate Steve on the House floor.
I expect it to be a vote for Speaker when Steve Scalise gets to 217 and not a moment before.
House lawmakers are urged to act fast so they can focus on issues like support for Israel.
We need to make sure we're sending a message to people all throughout the world that the House is open and doing the people's business, making sure that we're unequivocally standing.
Scalise looking to sway votes in the fight for House Speaker as the U.S. stands firmly behind Israel in its escalating war. And it's still unclear when a floor vote for a House Speaker will take place. There are concerns that the absence of an elected Speaker could slow or limit the amount of aid the U.S. can send to Israel. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
All right, it was a busy, successful day over at Compassion Corner right outside our 17 News studios yesterday, and we are so grateful to everyone who showed up.
Yeah, we teamed up with the Open Door Network for a coat and hygiene donation drive benefiting the Open Door Network. And our generous viewers, you, dropped off items for families who have been displaced, often because of domestic violence. The Open Door Network was able to fill their large truck along with several additional pickup trucks.
One man even donated 100 coats.
We're going to have plenty of winter clothes to go around for our children and our families. We did get a lot of men's jackets donated, so we'll be able to help contribute that to the mission, who supports a lot of our men in this community. But October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and so not only are we able to supply survivors with just needed items like hygiene products, but we're creating awareness in the community and supporting survivors as a community.
So if you didn't get a chance to drop off donations, you can still donate to the Open Door Network. You can drop them off during regular business hours on the offices at 19th Street, or of course you can go online. Thank you to all who gave in the spirit of the Golden Empire.
Close to home, a Visalia man whose mother was kidnapped in Israel is holding out hope this morning that she is still alive. Esteban Reynoso with our sister station in Fresno has more.
Missing a mother's embrace.
I just want my mom to come back home so I can give her a big hug.
It's been 5 days since Nahar Netta has seen or heard from his mom in Israel. Adrian Netta is one of several American citizens who have been either missing or kidnapped by Hamas forces.
We do not have any information on the whereabouts of what might have happened with her. My own mother's situation is very much unclear. I wanted to come forward in order to let people know about the families, the names, the stories behind this terrible tragedy.
Nahar believes she was kidnapped and could be held as a hostage. The last phone call he had with her left him uneasy.
She told us that she can hear shouting in Arabic outside her house and a lot of shooting outside our house. My siblings heard a lot of screaming and shouting inside the house as the terrorists entered the house and broke down the shelter. They could still hear the screaming of my mom, and that was our last sign of life from my mom.
Adrian is a California native. Nahar lives in Visalia and used to work for Fruit Spec USA in Tulare County, helping integrate the business into the Central Valley.
I'm a farmer. I grew up in the land, grew up in the fields of my kibbutz, and I'm a trained agronomist. I can tell you a lot about how to grow fruits and vegetables.
Now halfway around the world, Netta is hoping to make his family whole again.
My mom, she's a grandma, as evident by those photos. A happy grandma of 7 wonderful children, grandkids.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.